1, 2, 3, 4. Banjo Land, Mike Hedding here, coming to you today with the tune Long Journey Home. I've got kind of a J.D. Crowe inspired version, and this song is a great one to work on your forward roll, your basic hammer-ons and pull-offs, and just kind of working on your drive and your authority and kind of playing a solo in the basic kind of forward roll style, which is one of my favorite kind of ways to play the banjo. So I'm going to break down the whole tune note for note and then show you a whole bunch of backup stuff you can do on a song like this. So this is a great tune, so let's break it down. Here we go. Here's Long Journey Home. Alright, so here's the first couple measures of Long Journey Home. Let me play it and then I'll break it down. One more time. Okay, we're starting on a pickup on the and of beat 1. And I'm doing a pinch with my index and middle finger of my right hand on the 3rd and 1st strings. So I'm pinching those with my index and middle finger of my right hand. Then I'm going down to the 2nd fret of the 4th string and hitting 3 quarter notes. 2nd fret twice, and then the 1st fret. And I'm using my 2nd finger for the 2s, the 2nd fret, and my 1st finger for the 1st fret. But you could also just walk your 2nd finger down if that's easier. So it sounds like this. 1 and 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to land on an open 4th string for beat 1. So it's, after you do that pinch, you do 4 thumb notes with your right hand in a row. So what I recommend is count that first beat. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1. You know, sometimes it's kind of hard to pick up on an and or an upbeat if you don't put that first downbeat in your head. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1. And if that pinch at the very beginning feels too difficult, you can just do the open 3rd string if you want. Or you can just skip that little and beat if that's really throwing you off and just count 1, 2, 3, 4. That and just gives it a little bit of extra syncopation, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Okay, one more time. 1. Okay, now we're going to do the opening. It's kind of the opening melody. We're going to hit the open 4th string. So let me play. It's measure 2. Okay, so we're hitting the open 4th string actually twice, but the first one's a quarter note. So we're going to use 2 thumbs in a row with our right hand. That's going to help us play that right timing. So let me play the measure and then I'll break it down. Okay, so we're hitting open 4th string on beat 1, then the 4th string again, then index of our right hand on the 3rd string, open 1st string, back to the 3rd string, open with our index finger of our right hand, and then I'm using the 2nd finger of my left hand and doing the 2nd fret on the 4th string, and then open 1st string. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then we're going to hit the open 3rd string for measure 3. So let me play it a few times. This is a really common little melody line on Bluegrass Banjo. There's a whole bunch of songs that use it. Long Journey Home uses it. Songs like Worried Man Blues, or there's a whole bunch of songs that use this little intro. And I'm going to show you a few ways to play that. So the melody is kind of on the 4th string there. So that's the melody line. And we're using that roll around the melody line. So your thumb's going to be kind of playing the melody of the first part. So that's why it's really important to use your thumb a few times in a row there. So we're doing 2 thumbs right in a row. Okay, now we're going measure 3, open 3rd string, and then we're going to do 2 forward rolls on the 5th string, 3rd string, and 1st string. So I'm going T-I-M, T-I-M. So I did 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So there's a little pause at the beginning of B3 because we're doing measure 3, excuse me, not B3. There's a little pause at the beginning of measure 3 because we're playing a quarter note. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So that's measure 3. Let me play it one more time. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So again, same as measure 2, we're using 2 thumbs in a row there to help us slow down a little bit. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. You can also put an middle finger of your right hand in there if that pause is throwing you off. You could do 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So just keep rolling through it. So it'd be... So a small little variation, but you could try it either way. So it's either 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and, or 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. But sometimes putting that pause there adds a little bit of space, and that's actually kind of a cool technique, especially when you're doing a lot of rolling. Sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of space in there. Okay, measure 4, we're going to do a common banjo lick. It's a forward reverse roll with a hammer-on and a pull-off. So we're starting on the 3rd string, and we're going to go T-I-M with a 2-3 hammer-on. So one more time. Then we're going to hit the 5th string. Then we're going to go backwards, 1st string, 2nd string, and then a 3-2 pull-off on the 3rd string. And then I'm hitting one more middle, and then open 3rd string. So that's a really common lick. Let's just break down the right hand. So we're doing... So very common forward reverse roll, probably one of the first ones you learned. So we're going up, 3rd string, 2nd string, 1st string, hitting the 5th string, and then going backwards. So it's 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So it's really important that there's no pause in this roll. We have 8th notes there. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So when you add the hammer-ons and pull-offs, make sure you're not adding any pauses with your right hand. You know, you really don't want your right hand to change when you start adding those hammer-ons and pull-offs. It's really common to kind of let your right hand wait like that. You know, and then you end up adding extra beats to the measure. So it's really important. If you're ever in doubt, just always go back to the right hand and just, you know, there's no pauses in that roll. So when you add the hammer-ons and pull-offs, make sure you don't add any pauses there. And the way I do my pull-offs is I kind of pull back toward my palm and kind of drag the string a little bit. Everyone does them a little bit different. Some people push off. I like kind of pulling the string, dragging it. For me, that works a little bit easier. I use my index finger and my 2nd finger. Some people use their 2nd and 3rd finger. There's different ways to do it. Figure out what works best for you. My last advice would be make sure you keep your 1st finger down when you do that hammer-on. Resist the urge to lift your 1st finger up, because if you miss that hammer-on and you lift your 1st finger up, then you got nothing. You get that kind of sound. But if you keep your 1st finger down, if you kind of botch that pull-off a little bit, you still get a note, You can even just play it with just the 2nd fret and it still sounds pretty good, so. So try it without the hammer-ons and pull-offs too if it's giving you trouble. The other thing you can do is you could try a slide as well. So slides and hammer-ons and pull-offs are kind of all interchangeable, so try it with the slide too. Again, your right hand's not changing at all, so keep the right hand the same no matter if you're doing slides, hammer-ons, pull-offs, or not playing it with any notes. The right hand stays the same. Okay? One more time. Here's measure 4. Now we're hitting the open 3rd string. This is measure 5, and then we're pinching. outside strings, fifth string and first string. Then going back to the third string, open. And then hitting thumb, middle, fifth string and first string. So we got 3 quarter notes at the beginning of that measure. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and. That's a really good one to practice your counting. Don't rush those first 3 quarter notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, here's the first 5 measures. So it's 1. Okay, now we're doing that same 3-2 hammer-on, forward reverse roll. And this time I did the pull-off a little bit quicker, so we did a 16th note pull-off, it's called. So instead of lining up that 3 and 2 and pulling off at the same time, we're actually going to pull off a little quicker. See how I'm getting 3 notes there? So you count that 4 E and, so you get an extra little note there. But what's really important is that your right hand doesn't change, no matter whether you do the 16th note pull-off or you do the 8th note pull-off like we did in measure 4. You know, your right hand is still going 4 and 1. You know, you're hitting the 3rd string and then 1st string. So don't let that pull-off throw off your timing of your right hand, okay? Alright, here's measure 7. We're going to do a forward roll again, starting on the 3rd string. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And then we're adding the 2nd fret on the 1st string. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and we're going to use our 3rd finger of our left hand because we're going to go right into a C chord here. And this is kind of a cool little style thing that I've seen Earl Scruggs do a lot, is he actually goes to the C. It's a half a beat early, so it's on the and of 4 of the measure right before the C chord. So you can see in measure 8 we have a C chord. And I think he did that. I'm not sure exactly why, but I noticed in a lot of his tabs he would do that. So he would, if I'll play it a little faster, you go 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So he kind of goes to that note a little bit early. And again, if you're looking at the tab first off, it might feel easier to do that with your 2nd finger or your 1st finger or something like that. But do it with your 3rd finger, because then you're going to be ready to go right into your C chord, and that's how you've done the C before. So really important, use your 3rd finger on measure 7 on that 2nd fret of the 1st string. Okay? So one more time, here's measure 7. 1, 2,